And we're staying in front of room 105, where Felicia Day will be giving her little seminar about, well, being Felicia Day. For those of you that don't know, Felicia Day is pretty much the star of The Guild, which is a show about World of Warcraft. Seva, do you know anything about the show?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know much about the show, so this is hopefully going to be a little interesting, something a little new for me. I've heard a lot about it, never really got around to watching it. I know a lot of people do. Could be good, maybe not my thing. We're about to find out.
Let's do it.
You heard the man. Let's do it.
Hello. Oh, hi. That's so weird.
So, my first question has to go to you. You were just filming Red in Toronto and in Hamilton. What's it like to return Toronto?
It is great. I love Toronto. I just landed from Vancouver, where I was shooting something else. I was shooting Eureka. And yeah, doing many episodes of that, which is great. If you want to follow my Twitter, I have lots of wacky photos of Colin Ferguson, and all the other cast members are so awesome. So, but it was just great to come back to Toronto because for me, Toronto feels a little bit like LA, and I was a little homesick because Vancouver does not feel like LA. So landing and seeing all the traffic, I was like, yes, it's LA again. But I was here in March, so it was so cold, and I was complaining the whole time, and everybody was like, you're such a wimp, and I was like, yes, I'm cold. So it was nice to have beautiful weather. So yeah, I love Toronto.
And Amy, this is your first time here.
Yeah, it is. I've never been in Canada or in any other country besides Japan, so I'm very excited.
There you go. Okay, so first of all, we have to start with the Guild. So first of all, are you surprised by the massive success of the Guild?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it is phenomenal that it was something that I started shooting in my office and just kind of uploaded on a lark. 3 years later, we're still going. And you guys care about the show. I mean, thank you. It's such an honor because, we've never had mainstream advertising. We've never spent money on, that kind of stuff. And it's been sheer word of mouth, really. And I just love the fact that, here today, I met a bunch of people who just discovered the show yesterday. And I'm like, it's been every single day of my life for 3 years. And to have the kind of something that can be people are willing to spread from friend to friend, and for it to just be found now, I don't know, it's just really flattering, and it makes all the hard work worth it.
Wow. And so Amy, you've been part of this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So are you sitting there being just as surprised as Felicia?
I am. I auditioned for the Guild, and my manager told me it was a TV pilot. So, I went into this audition thinking I was auditioning for a pilot, and then I got it without even a callback or anything, so I was like, this is awesome. And then I go to the first rehearsal and find out it's not a TV pilot, and it's a YouTube video. So I was kind of surprised with that in the beginning, but I
had no idea that happened.
Yeah, it was my first gig, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm glad you didn't quit.
I mean, if I quit, and I would have been so pissed off. So I'm glad I stuck with it.
Okay, good. I am too.
So how did you recruit the other people in your merry gang on the Guild?
Like you said, we had auditions. My friend Helen Geyer, who is actually casting me my very first short when I first moved to LA. It was a kind of a black and white student film, and then she subsequently has gone on to be a professional casting director. She cast for Bones and Dexter and a lot of really big shows. And she agreed to help me cast the parts that I didn't write for people. So Vork and Zabu, I wrote those parts specifically for Jeff Lewis and Sandeep Parikh because we did improv together in LA, and they made me laugh and break. If you're an improv actor, you're like, don't break, and I'm like, Jeff Lewis can make me break. In life, right? He could literally read the phone book and make me laugh. So, and don't tell him that. It'll go to his head. So then for the other three parts, so we had Blades, Clara, and Tink, we had open auditions. And like Amy said, when we were auditioning 3 years ago, nobody had web series. And the idea of releasing a breakdown for a web series, even when I had a legitimate casting director on it, people were really snotty about it, and mostly people who came in to read were non-union. They were not SAG or AFTRA or professional actors, because web series, people didn't even know what that was. So we were really doing something that was kind of maybe ahead of its time, because now people get lots, hundreds of submissions for web series. But early on, we were just like a couple dozen, and thank goodness we had such talented actors come in and read. And when Amy and Robin and Vince came in, it's really amazing if you do casting. Somebody will walk in and bring things to a character that you never thought of before, and it was really just no question. When they sat down to read, we're like, oh, that's it. It was such an easy decision. So we're very blessed because of the actors we have.
Now you've added occasionally to the cast. So one of the people I have to ask about is, you cast Will Wheaton as a villain. So what is this? Is this
I think I did that first.
Well, this is what you're saying. It's become a meme. You started a meme. The evil Will Wheaton meme on Big Bang Theory and on
Leverage. He plays evil Will, and then on Eureka, he's not a cupcake. You've seen, I don't know if you guys have seen. I guess in Canada they don't air it, but one of his episodes has aired, and he was a little hostile character. So yeah, but I did it first, guys, so I claim credit. Thank you. Yeah, he plays it people. And the funny thing about Will is that he's the nicest guy you've ever met in your life. Like, I promise. He is just the sweetest, most kind guy. And just, it's almost humorous that he's being typecast as a jerk when in fact his whole model is don't be a dick.
Wait, is this the Neil Patrick Harris thing? Because he maybe it's...
I don't know.
Well, he's been a bit evil thanks to Dr. Horrible and stuff like that.
That's true, I guess. Barney's a little bit evil, but not in
a lot of evil, depending on your point of view.
I think he's charming.
Let's get more into that. So what do you guys find attractive in a man? No,
I'm moderator.
No, so really, what we want to know is, so tell me a little bit more about casting the other people in the series other than the main crew.
So for other characters, we occasionally have, I love to write parts for characters. So for Will, I knew that I wanted him to be in the show, and I saw a man in a kilt at a gaming convention, and that's how that happened. So I created that role specifically for him because I knew he's really smart and he could be an intellectual ass like nobody else. And then the other characters, I wrote the girl in the wheelchair, Venom. I wrote that part for her. And she's been a very good friend of mine for years, and she loved being evil. Every time I would send her a script page, and she's in a wheelchair, and I was like, oh boy, this is edgy. I don't know if she wants to do this, like, exploiting her wheelchair and stuff, and doing these horrible things about, like, drowning herself. I was like, this is macabre. And she's like, more, do it more. She was loving the fact that she wasn't like a victim, because people typecast people who are in a wheelchair as being, helpless. And she loved the fact that she was like really aggressive and empowered. So that was fun. And then Mike Rose, the guy who played Valkyrie, the sort of flamboyant guy, the fabric guy from season 3, he is actually in Legend of Neil, if anybody's seen that. That's Sandeep Parik's other web series. And he also did improv with us, and it's so funny. And then for the other parts, we auditioned. We auditioned Bruiser, and then we also, this season, we auditioned Ollie and Jeanette, who are Cheesy Beard's employees. So, and that was an amazing process, seeing all these guys come in pirate outfits. And a lot of them came in pirate outfit. I was like, dedication, man. So it's always fun. And like I said, when an actor comes in and brings something to a character that you didn't expect on the page, like Ollie did when he auditioned, it's a blessing, because then it becomes collaborative versus like, let's set somebody in the part.
There you go. Now, I discovered the Guild due to Dr. Horrible and my daughter. Now, what do you guys think the tipping point was? Because I was wondering if it was, do you want to date my avatar video? Is that how everybody discovered it? Maybe this is a better question for you guys. How did you guys discover it? How many was it when it started? How many of you watched from the very beginning? Okay, a handful. How many of you watched when Avatar hit, the Avatar video?
Yeah, it's a lot more, yeah.
How many of you hit it because of Dr. Horrible?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting to see a pattern. How many are recent converts in the last year or so?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So it keeps growing. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, a lot of people come up and they're like, oh, I just made my friend watch this. I was like, did they like it? They're like, yeah, okay, good. Well, that was...
So what response do you get from fans?
I get a lot of like, oh, you're not as bitchy in real life. I get a lot of like tweets saying like, your picture freaks me out because you're smiling. And I'm like, oh, no. But no, No, it's great. Like, I'm getting so many more people, like friends from high school, or, like random people that I would never think would watch the Guild, like Facebooking me or something, being like, "Hey, I saw you like on the Guild," or like, "Congratulations, you're on Xbox Live," or like, and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I mean, it's still spreading like more than ever. So
I think gaming culture in general is becoming more, acceptable or cool or mainstream, or just people are discovering gaming as an alternate form of entertainment more. And like, hopefully, I'm doing my part to justify, being proud of being a gamer and being a girl gamer or a girl geek. Those are all things that I'm proud of.
That's unbelievable. Well, now I think I should open it to the audience, because clearly you guys know more about this than I do. Any show of hands? Anybody have a question for Amy and Felicia? Yes, sir, you.
Have you been in talks with Joss at all for even like a flashback sequence or anything? If you were to make a second Dr. Horrible?
For a second, Dr. Horrible. I think
Let's repeat the question, just in case people didn't hear. I have a job, Felicia. This is my job. I feel like what's the movie with
Galaxy Quest?
All I have to do is repeat. Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Yes, my job is I have the Galaxy Quest role here. I will repeat the question. Have you talked to Joss Whedon about perhaps doing a sequel or prequel or flashback to Dr. Horrible?
It's been a couple of years since Dr. Horrible, and I know that Joss even had a title at a certain point, and they were really into filming it. But then Dollhouse got picked up for a second season, and then I know that after Dollhouse ended, the first priority was to get Dr. Horrible 2 going. And Marissa and Jed, as you know, probably right on Spartacus, and Jed and Zach, the other lead-in who wrote Dr. Horrible, was on Fringe, and then he's on Rubicon now. So they're all professional, working actors. And, working on a TV show, it's like a 14-hour day every day. So, and then, I know Joss was looking toward it, and then he kind of got the biggest movie that in existence, Avengers, which is going to be the best superhero movie ever written, I'm sure, and directed. So, I have a feeling he's going to be busy for a while on that little project. So, to go back to Dr. Horrible, I know, the intention is there, the plan is there, but I'm sure it's, once he gets the Avengers finished, hopefully, cross fingers. And as far as my participating, I can't tell you. I know as a writer, it's hard to incorporate the things you as a person want in there. So if they brought me back, that would be fantastic. If not, I would still be a huge fan of it, because that's the lucky thing about working with Joss Whedon. Like, working with him is always... it's a privilege, and if I weren't in it, I would be a fan of it. So that's what's cool about my life. No, that sounded really arrogant.
I wanted to walk all the way up there and just get right where those guys are.
Well, I wonder what this man is wearing there. There you go. How did you come about the name Codex?
It's a nerdy story. When I was a kid, I was homeschooled. And I didn't really have any friends other than BBSs and dial-up. Yes, indeed, I'm old. I'm an old lady. So I was obsessed with the Ultima games. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Ultima. Ultima 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,